In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to parse and extract relevant information from any document you get into, for example, like in this example, into a Google Sheets. So as you can see in here, we get this PDF document in here. And all we want to do is we want to extract relevant information. As you can see, the to, your reference, our reference, you want the name of the responder, we want the job title of responder, etc., etc. All those different data points right here. We want that into a Google Sheets, into a structured list, as you can see inside of these different columns right here. So all I need to do that is actually click on test workflow. It's now going to go ahead and extract that file. We're going to parse that through Claude. Then we're going to extract all the information we get from Claude through the information extractor, and we're going to put all that into Google Sheets. As you can see right now, we're going to get all that data into our Google Sheets, structured like it should be, exactly the same information as we got from the PDF response. As you can see in here, we have OpenAI, we have project 2025 001 right here, and we have the collab 7521, as you can see in here. And by the way, if you do want any sort of automation built out for you, the link for that will be in the description down below. So we are going to start off here in a completely new n8n workflow, so you can see exactly step by step how you can build this out for yourself. So we're first going to start off by clicking the plus sign and using the trigger manually, which is the simplest trigger here in n8n. You can just click on test workflow here, or here to test the workflow. And then we're going to add another step here, which is going to be Google Drive. So we are going to use Google Drive, and we are going to actually download a file. So in here, we want to connect to our Google Drive account. So to do that, you actually need to click on create new credential. And in here, as you can see, all we need is the client's ID and client secret. And to get those, we actually need to head over to the Google console. And in here, we need to create ourselves a new project. So just click on new project. And once you've done that, we can come into the new project. And in here, we just want to click on the hamburger sign up there. We want to go over to APIs and services and click on that. And the first thing we're going to do in here is we need to go over to library. And we want to search for Google Drive, the Google Drive API, that's right. We want to click on the Google Drive API. And as you can see, my camera keeps freezing, and we want to click on enable here if you haven't enabled your Google Drive. Once you've done that, you can head back over to the APIs and services right here. In here, you just need to click on credentials, and we want to create credentials, and we want to create a OAuth client ID. So in here, you just want to choose the application type, web application, and you want to name the application something, and let's just name it like n8n demo, and we want to add a authorized redirect URI, which is going to be what we had inside our n8n, which is going to be this callback right here, which we need to copy, and we need to then go over here, and we need to paste that in here. Once you've done that, you can just click on create. And now here, as you can see, you have the client's ID and the client's secret. So just copy both of them and head back over here, paste them in there. Once you've done that, you just need to click on sign in here, and you need to allow Google to basically do all the different operations it wants to do with your Google Drive. Click on save, and then you have connected to your Google Drive account. And you want to use the resource called file and the operation called download. And then we want to find that file we want to download. So for us, that is going to be the template of PCA request. So you're just going to search for that templates. Let's see if we can search templates of PCA. And that's going to be this one, the PDF. There we go. And we want to just click on test step. And now we're downloading the file into n8n. As you can see in here, we now have the file right here. We can actually also view the file to make sure that we have the right file. So as you can see in here, we now get a little image of the file, and that looks correct. That looks exactly like the file we have in our Google Drive here. So the next thing we are going to do in this workflow is going to add another step, and we are just going to search for extract, because we are going to find the extract from file node. In here, we want to use the move file to base64 string, and we are just going to leave this as is, move file to base64 string, and we're going to use the input the binary field as data, because as you can see, this is the data we get from the Google Drive download file node, and we're just going to test this step, and it will output the data as data, because that's what we set in the destination output field. And as you can see here, we get a nice little base64 string, which is really not readable to us. We're going to add a Claude API request, which will read this base64 string and actually extract all the data we want it to. So what I'm going to do now is just basically paste in a HTTP request to a Claude API endpoints, as you can see in here. As I said, the template for this is down in the description, so you don't have to write this out for yourself. That's why I didn't do it now, because it would take like 3 minutes of the video just to write out this HTTP request, and the video will get way too long. So we're just basically doing a post request to the messages API endpoints for Anthropic. We're just setting in our X API key, or our API key, and the Anthropic version we are using, and also the Anthropic beta in here, as you can see. And we're also sending some data, and as you see, my camera froze once again. And we're also sending some JSON in here through the body. And the important thing here is that you actually send the right data. As you can see, we're using the source base64 and application/PDF because we're sending in a base64 string from a PDF. So what I'm going to do now is actually change this out because this is not exactly how our data looks. Our data looks like this. We're just going to drag that in here. There you go. And now what we can go ahead and do is just test this step. And as you can see, we want to include response headers and status. As you can see, we get a text out here by Claude saying here are the filled in inputs for this specific to this document. As you can see, because I actually told it that what inputs are filled in to this document, like what are the filled in inputs that are custom to this document, because we want to find all the filled in things right here, like OpenAI project 2025-01 and collab, etc., etc. So as you can see, we then get all that data out from Anthropic, but it's still not structured like we wanted to actually paste this into a Google Drive or paste it back into another PDF response or something like that. So what we're going to do now is that we're actually going to use another step here, which is going to be the information extractor. This one right here. And we are just going to paste this text in right here. And now I'm going to add all the attributes I want from this text. Then we're going to set the schema type to generate from JSON example. That's actually what I see get the most consistent results from the information extractor is when I use the generate from JSON example. And I'm just going to list out all the different input fields we have in here as to, your reference, our reference, date, etc., which you want to extract from the text we get from Claude, which has parsed the base64 string from the PDF. So now, as you can see, I've gone ahead and listed out all the different inputs we want to extract from the text we get from Claude, which is going to be all the different inputs, as you can see from the PDF right here, starting from the to, your reference, our reference, date, etc., moving on through all the documents. And that is what we're going to test right now to see whether or not we get the extraction. But first of all, we need to set the model we are going to use for the information extractor, which we are just going to use a simple GPT-4o mini. I've never had any problems with using GPT-4o mini for the information extractor in this workflow right here. So as you can see, we get the output inside of the right-hand side right here. We get OpenAI collab and project March 25th, 2025, which looks exactly the same as in here. Perfect. So what we want to do now is we want to add all that output data into Google Sheets. So we get it structured inside of our database, which is going to be Google Sheets, of course. So we're just going to search for Google Sheets. There we go, found it. And we want to just append a row in Sheet. So we just add a new row inside Google Sheets when you have all the different elements or outputs under there, each column. So we want to just click on append row, have it set as is. If you haven't connected to Google Sheets account, all you need to do is set it back over to the console Google Cloud. In here, you just need to go again back to the library and enable the Google Sheets API. And then once again, use the client ID and client secret that you had in here. And then go back to your n8n workflow and just do the same operation as you did with the Google Drive, essentially. So what we need to do is we need to find that document. But first, I actually have to make the document that we want to put the data in. So I just went ahead and added a CPA to responders sheet in here. And as you can see, we have all the different headers we want, which is to, our reference, your reference date, etc. All the different things that came through the CPA request. As you can see in here, to, your reference, our reference, etc., etc. So now we go ahead and just find this sheet, and it is called CPA2 something something. So we just search for CPA2. And we want to find the CPA2 responders. Here we go. And we want to use the sheet 1 because I just didn't make another sheet. First one is always called sheet 1, and it's fetching the columns. We're just now going to add all the different columns inside of the different ones here. Our reference, your reference, date, and the organization, which was very creative by Claude, which came up with this organization or this response right here. As I made it, just make some random organization, and it shows OpenAI and Sam Altman. As you can see, we want to use the contact telephone, and we want the contact email, etc., and also the identity and the date established. So identity and date established. There we go. Now we are done with that. We can just click on test step, and we should be good to go. And we get all the different outputs inside of our Google Sheet, as you can see right here. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.